When it comes to evaluating NBA shooting, NBA scouts have a clear framework. Shooters grab the attention of NBA scouts for various reasons, but typically it starts with their ability to knock down catch and shoot opportunities. In this video, I'll break down the key aspects scouts look for when assessing shooters: percentages, form, movement, footwork, and off-the-dribble shooting. I'm Anthony Goods and I'm an NBA scout, and if you have a second, please hit the like and subscribe button. The support really makes a difference, and I'll do my best to keep engaging content coming your way. But you already know what time it is, let's dive in. Shooters often stand out as catch and shoot players. In the NBA, most teams already have dominant ball handlers, so they need players who can space the floor and create gravity on the perimeter. These players force defenders to stay honest, opening lanes for ball handlers and finishers. Catch and shoot specialists don't just complement an offense, they make it more dynamic by stretching the defense. Basketball is a numbers game, so let's talk percentages. Over the last 24 years, the league average for three-point shooting hasn't changed much, staying around 35 to 36%, even though attempts per game has skyrocketed. While the eye test shows that shot distance and difficulty has increased, the actual skill of shooting hasn't dramatically improved. This highlights how context matters as much as raw numbers. The golden benchmark for a great shooter is around 40% from three. However, one great season at 40% doesn't impress me as much as consistent performance at that level. Longevity and reliability are what matter most. To truly evaluate a shooter, you need to dig into a few things. Let's start with shot selection. Are they taking smart and high percentage shots? Then you can look at shot volume. Are they maintaining efficiency with high attempts? Role is also very important because it matters if they are a primary or secondary option within their offense. A lot of time that dictates their shot volume and shot selection, which I mentioned earlier. Roster construction is also key. What good is it to have a shooter if you don't have anybody that can get him the ball, or anybody that can draw some attention away from him? With this, you'll look and see, do teammates create open looks for them, or are they generating shots of their own? Or are they being guarded more heavily, which might affect their shot volume and shot selection as well? These variables can heavily influence shooting percentages and need to be considered. Another thing NBA scouts tend to evaluate is shooting form. Like it or not, form is a critical factor, and it's definitely a subjective evaluation. Every player has unique mechanics, and scouts evaluate form differently. For the sake of time, I'll give you two elements that I tend to focus on the most. Fluidity is number one. Is the shooting motion smooth, and is it natural? I tend to think a smooth and natural release is something that can be repeated easily, and you can get a form of consistency. And speaking of consistency, that's the second thing I tend to look for. Can they replicate the same motion every time? Even the smallest error in timing and motion can throw a three-point shot off. So I like to find shooters that can, number one, make a shot, but then consistently repeat that motion. And sometimes you can track this by analyzing makes and misses. I like to pay attention to patterns. Consistently missing short or long is easier to address, while missing left and right often signals deeper mechanical issues. A shooter with consistent form is easier to project and develop. Now let's talk about footwork. Footwork is another crucial aspect of shooting. I'm not here to say one style of footwork is better than another. Whether you hop or step into a shot for a standstill three-pointer often doesn't matter. However, when transitioning into a shot off the dribble or maybe even on the move, the details in footwork can make a significant difference. Each player's form and shooting rhythm is unique. What matters most is whether they can maintain balance and get their shot off quickly. If a shooter can do that effectively, I'm not going to judge their footwork as long as it works for them. Balance and rhythm are non-negotiable, but the exact mechanics can vary from player to player. I've been using PrizePicks this football season because they're giving $50 when you use $5 in lineups with my promo code. I'm going to explain everything in a minute, but first, let me make my picks. It's Monday Night Football tonight, and Green Bay's playing New Orleans, so I'm going to roll with Josh Jacobs to get less than 92 yards. And for my next pick, I'm going with New Orleans, and I'm going to go with Marquez Valdes-Scantling to get more than 33.5 yards. If you want to make your own picks, go to PrizePicks.com and use my promo code AGOODS24 to receive a guaranteed $50 once you play $5 in lineups. PrizePicks is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports, and if you have the skills, you could turn $10 into $1,000 in just a few taps. I can make my picks and submit my lineup in less than 60 seconds. So support the channel and go give it a shot. Head over to PrizePicks.com and use promo code AGOODS24. And if you use my promo code and comment "Let Me Scout" on one of my videos, I'll let you pick the topic of my next video. Again, go to PrizePicks.com and use promo code AGOODS24 to receive a guaranteed $50 once you play $5 in lineups. Go to PrizePicks.com, use promo code AGOODS24 to receive a guaranteed $50 once you play $5 in lineups. Daily fantasy sports made easy. Movement shooting is another specialty. Shooting on the move is a valuable skill in today's fast-paced game. Movement shooting off curls, flares, and dribble handoffs makes a player more dynamic. These shooters fit seamlessly into a variety of actions, creating more options for their team's offense. Quality movement shooters are rare but highly sought after. Their ability to shoot effectively on the move adds layers to an offense, making them a significant asset. Lastly, off-the-dribble shooting is one of the toughest skills to master. It's another layer of difficulty that can make a player truly dynamic. Like with other shooting forms, fluidity and consistency are key here. And simply adding a dribble can make both of these things harder to achieve. Most off-the-dribble shooters prefer pulling up, gathering the ball with their weak hand. When I see a player who can confidently pull up with both their strong and weak hands, it stands out. This level of versatility signals potential to become a high-level shot creator. Evaluating shooters goes beyond the number. It's about understanding their role, context, and skill set. Sometimes you may even have shooters in more limited roles on a team, so usually scouts like to arrive about an hour and a half, sometimes even 2 hours early, just to watch a player shoot in warm-ups. Not everybody's going to get the same shot volume game to game, so if you're truly evaluating a shooter, it's best to arrive early so you can get a good look at how their form looks, balance, and the little details you might not be able to see during the game. From catch-and-shoot specialists to off-the-dribble creators, every detail matters. NBA scouts are always searching for shooters that can impact games and drive winning. But who's the most underrated shooter in the NBA? If y'all got a name, drop it in the comments. That's all I got for y'all. I appreciate y'all watching, and stay tuned for the next one. As always, keep shooting, and I'll keep scouting.
If we think about basketball shooting, not as a push, but a throw. If I was throwing a baseball, unless I was trying to throw a fucked up pitch, I would not throw with my palm.
Never.
Even a football.
You hold it right here.
Yeah, it's the fingers that are releasing. It's not the palm. There's obviously some shooters, Mike Dunleavy, Damian Lillard, that shoot on the palm.
But I watch all of them. Some of them that shoot in the palm, they got to do like this because they got to really throw it. And they get really adept at being able to do that. But specifically kids, because I always watch it and I try to get them to see it. And I even pull up my own clips. And I don't want everybody to have to shoot it like me, but I've had success because I duplicated those same habits. And we're talking about getting the ball off fast.